And thank you for joining us again. As far as we're still talking to Cathy Healy. She is the Director of Training at Parents Education Advocacy Training Center in the Virginia area. And we were talking a little bit about some of the programs that you have at PEATC.
Right.
Another program that you have is called the Parents Information Resource Center.
Right.
And could you give us a little bit more information on
Sure.
what that all entails?
Sure. We affectionately refer to it as PERC.
Okay.
Not because we're perky, but because that's what the acronym spells. PERC is actually a function under the No Child Left Behind Act. We have lots of schools around Virginia and, of course, across the nation that are not meeting annual, yearly performance goals.
That's correct.
And after a time, they go into a kind of a program where lots of resources are moved into them.
Okay.
We don't work exclusively with those schools. Our primary objective is to ensure that families across the Commonwealth understand the value of education, but more importantly, understand the value of their involvement in education.
Okay.
We want parents, certainly in the low-performing schools, to understand the ramifications of the lack of their involvement,
Right.
because there is so much research. We have about 30 years worth of research that really tells us about the benefits of parental involvement in education. Our children stay in school longer, they achieve much higher grade levels, they are more proud of their schools, they have just a different sense of purpose and understanding of education, and they go on to post-secondary education or employment in higher rates than children in families where there isn't a lot of involvement. So we see this as a great opportunity to communicate the value of parents being involved in education.
Now, some people say, as far as the parents also need to develop a better partnership with the schools and other service providers. Why do you feel that strengthening and developing these partnerships is so crucial to parents for their children?
Right. Well, partnerships are probably the most important thing that we as adults have in our lives. We partner all the time with organizations, with people, our churches, you name it, our doctors, attorneys. We're partnering all the time. But when it comes to the schools, for some reason, parents think, well, I'm entitled to this, I guess I don't have to partner. But more importantly, I think parents really don't understand what it is to partner. I always say the 3 F's: firm, friendly, fair. Walking in with another adult and acting in a professional manner with professionals who are trying to do the best they can under sometimes pretty sketchy circumstances. Our schools, many of them don't have a lot of resources. So partnership is really an important model, and it's a really good thing for parents to keep in mind as they are getting involved in children's education.
Now, what are some of the information and the assistance as far as other assistance that PERC provides?
Well, not only do we talk about involvement as being an important piece, but we also will help parents understand what some of their rights are. If they are in a low-performing school, we can help them understand about supplemental services and school choice, and also how to read the data that now exists and is found on the Department of Education's website. We can help parents to read that and understand it and interpret it and what that means for their own communities.
Now, there's another program that you have out there. It's called PASS. What is that about?
Well, PASS is actually a piece of the PERC. Boy, we've got a
Okay.
lot of P's here today.
Okay.
But PASS is Parents as Allies for Student Success.
Okay.
And it's a partnership with George Mason University. And fundamentally, it is a mentorship program. So if we have some parents who are perhaps not as well educated as other parents, they may culturally have never known about the value of partnerships with schools. They may have a history where school was something that they never felt comfortable or confident in in participating in, we have developed this mentoring program. We've got trained parents who actually will work with parents who have less confidence, less understanding about partnering with schools. And, we call it hand-holding,
Right.
kind of hand-holding.
Right.
They will hold hands and help parents strategize and understand how to work with your child doing homework. What is that about? Communicating effectively with teachers. So all kinds of things that might go into partnering with the school system, particularly for someone who's never, ever known anything like that before.
Now, what about a parent that might be new to the country who has
Yes.
a lack of English skills like
Yeah.
the Hispanic population? Do
We-
you have programs for
We
that
actually
group?
do have a Latino outreach coordinator who works very, very hard in the Spanish-speaking communities. She's been doing just wonderful work and, in fact, seeing lots of great results, bringing lots of parents to the table. And once she gets those parents, there's no way that they are not going to be sold and understand the value of their participation. We're really excited because she's also now branching out into other communities, Muslim communities, Asian communities. There's lots of need out there, and little by little we are finding our way. So we're very excited about that.
Now, I understand, as far as you were talking earlier about parent involvement, as far as you also have a program where you talk about the parent being the first teacher. What do you actually mean by that?
Parents as First Teachers is actually a nationally recognized program. And we are one of the contractors under our PERC grant to bring this training out to the community. So we train the providers who actually work one-on-one with parents so that they can, when they have little tiny babies and they're just trying to figure out what are the next steps and how do I have to be as a mom. And we train those people to get those parents at the earliest stage possible and help to communicate. Here's what it is to be an early reader, and here's how you can help infuse a love of learning in your child at even infancy.